Here to Sentai Michael from Screen Review, bringing you a new podcast from myself called the Super Sentai Review. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand me. Also, I'm trying to do my best not to breathe so hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause any audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language. Now, once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will contain your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, this means you're good to watch this audio podcast recording. So anyway, let's get into the latest episode of Donbrothers. So basically, the episode picks up when it last goes in the previous episode. We see the Red Ranger, aka we see Paulo, aka the Red Ranger, going nuts and start to attack the other Rangers after he kicked the other Ranger, Haruka. Haruka was pissed that that the Red Ranger kicked him after she pledged her loyalty, to him to helping him stop the Naho. So basically, it seems like he was just the way he started to swing his sword, his sunglass sword at the other Rangers, just going nuts. Seems like he was just he was just so excited about, feel like he was just too excited, and he looked like he was basically going a little bit overboard with excitement and whatnot, and basically, thought he was just playing with the other Rangers, but forced the other Rangers to teleport away from him by using the doorways, in the secret virtual world where the Naho are from and whatnot. So basically, Haruka, aka the Yellow Ranger, was kind of pissed that, this dude kicked me, what the fuck is his problem? So anyway, the next day she went to Taro, to the delivery place where Taro works at, and turns out that the delivery place that the Red Ranger work at was temporarily closed until the police finished their investigation about until the police finished their investigation about that package thief, about that delivery thief who was stealing light bulbs and stuff like that. So anyway, Haruka was still pissed off, so basically she went to go, so basically she put on her sunglasses that show her the virtual world and the doorways that they use to travel, to basically teleport, to basically go through these doorways that let them, go anywhere in the city, and she went to go talk to Taro's he went to go talk to Jin, who is Taro's dad, to see what the hell about what the hell is up with Taro. So anyway, meanwhile, turns out that Taro had got a temp job at the Pink Rangers, consulting agency, So basically, it's Yoshi, the Pink Ranger, Taro got a temp job at it's Yoshi's, consulting agency. So basically, the Pink Ranger has a consulting job. So basically, help people consult with their business and shit like that. Blah blah blah. So anyway, basically, it's Yoshi's boss introduced Taro to. So basically, it's Yoshi's voice introduced him to Momotaro. So basically, at this point, the Yellow Ranger is the only Ranger that knows who the Red Ranger is. So basically, the Red Ranger had met all the other Rangers, but the only but the generator knows who he is, knows that Tao is the Red Ranger. So the other Rangers don't know that Mo Tao is the Red Ranger as of right now. So anyway, they went to go. So basically, they got decided to be consultant to help consult with this special restaurant that make rice bowls. So basically, so basically, try to get them to, consider doing business with them. So basically, if you go see, was having this car, trying to get the owner's business and whatnot. But Montavo was I like this time for the good before we do anything. So basically, the owner of the rice bowl restaurant made Montavo a rice bowl. He said that, and tasted the rice bowl, this is not bad. It's 80% good. So basically, he gave him an 8. He gave him an 80 out of 100 for the rice bowl that that the owner made for Motown. So basically, Motown said that, look, you could do better. You could do better than this. So basically, the owner was took Motown's advice, took Motown's advice and whatnot. He said that, what, I'm gonna go on the trip to prove my rice bowl making skills. So basically, and Motown just volunteered him and Yoshi to look after the owner's shop while he's away, working on his skills to make a better rice bowl. So basically, Motown just volunteered to look after a owner's restaurant along with Yoshi, who he just met today, to look after this guy's rice shop. So basically, there are two other people that work there, and basically they were kind of lazy and didn't really care of putting their craft as making rice bowls and whatnot. So basically, Motaro basically trying to work them in shape and whatnot, and basically if you guys don't take any pride in yourselves, in your class, you will never be better. You guys will never get better if you guys don't take any pride in your class. So basically, Yoshi at first, thought that Motown was going too far. Pushing these guys. There's a different approach to helping these guys, take their class seriously. But Motown once again, these guys need this push. Basically, Yoshi, these guys need this type of push to help them be better. But Yoshi, was there's a better way to do, to help inspire these guys than forcing them to do this crazy training work in it. But Yoshi, remembered that in the previous episode they couldn't say that person that was possessed by that Naho lifting monster from being destroyed by Samwise and his friends and his two friends. So basically, Yoshi felt guilty that he could have done better. He could have done better to help stop Samwise and his friends from destroying that lecture monster that was possessing that human and whatnot. So basically, he do realize that that Motaro means well, but at the same time, maybe I could take this opportunity to do some trading. That way I can be a better ranger next time I fight the Naho. So anyway, Meanwhile, Haruka managed to talk to Jin, and Jin discovered that Motaro always been a boy that always want to make people happy and help people out. So basically, but sometimes he can go a bit overboard. So basically, every time every time he helps a person, he always does it his way. So basically, and people when he was a boy, he's always helping people. That's not a bad thing, but but people got annoyed with him being too helpful. Sometimes he still, as he still hasn't learned that that it's okay to help people, but at the same time, you need to let people help themselves. So you can't always help people. You need to learn to let people help themselves instead of doing everything for that person. You should let that person help themselves instead. So basically, Motaro still hasn't learned that. He still hasn't learned that lesson and whatnot. So anyway, Itsuyoshi, Itsuyoshi, talk to the guys who work at the restaurant, and try a different approach, and try a much different approach than Momotaro, and basically, you guys, he just talk to them. It's your boss went to go went on trips to prove his voice ball skills. So basically, you guys could think about taking your class more seriously. So basically, they got the two guys that work at the restaurant that gangster, being honest with if Yoshi being honest with these guys, this restaurant, honestly, if this restaurant closed down, if you guys are slacking your skills, what are you guys gonna do? So basically, Itsuyoshi took a different approach to motivate these guys to take their voice ball making skills seriously. So anyway, so basically, thanks to Itsuyoshi having a silly conversation with the guys who work at the rice bowl restaurant, they try to work on, being better rice bowl makers and whatnot. So basically, then that's when Moto came and overheard the conversation about how about Moto is a big show off and whatnot. He's supposed to be helping us, but instead he just he could just talk to us instead of just forcing us doing these ridiculous stuff and whatnot. So basically, Momotaro overheard the two restaurant guys' conversations, and basically, and thinking that he thinking to himself that maybe I do go a bit, thinking to himself that maybe I should work on not going overboard helping people and maybe I should work on not going overboard helping people and whatnot after hearing those comments. So anyway, the rice bowl, so basically the boss of the restaurant came back and basically unnoticed to them that, a Naho monster that looks like a permanent monster was slowly taking control of the restaurant owner. So basically, this Naho monster was seen as the O-Ranger. So anyway, the rice ball. So basically, so basically once again he made a rice ball for Momotaro, and basically Momotaro was like, this is even better. I get it a 90 out of 100. So basically, So basically, after my trip and working on my white spell skills, why can't I get 100 out of you? So basically, Moto made his white spell, and and the business owner is oh, this is perfect, cause you still the reason why I won't get you 100, cause you don't seem passionate when you make your rice balls. So basically, he's saying that there's no the only way to make a perfect rice bowl is if you're passionate, if you enjoy making them. So basically, Mobile is saying that the only way to make a perfect rice bowl is if you enjoy making them. So basically, the boss of the restaurant took Moto's advice and hand and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, somewhere else in the city, we see Haruka, the Red Ranger, actually met the Blue Ranger Shinji after they used their Ranger powers and the doorways of the virtual world to save a mother and child from being hit. They became quick friends and whatnot, and started to work together. We started to work together to improve their fighting skills, against Naho. So anyway, back at the restaurant, the Naho monster took control of the restaurant owner and basically started to attack the people in somewhere in the area in the city. So basically, all the Rangers showed up and basically and managed to stop Sansa, one of Sunrise friends that was trying to destroy the Naho monster with the humans. Seems like the only mission is to get rid of humans that has strong desires and greed over something like that. So basically, seems like they want to get rid of humans that exhibit extreme greed and possessing over something like that. So anyway. So basically, working together as a team, all five of the Rangers managed to send Sansa, force Sansa to retreat and basically destroy the Naho monster, and turn the restaurant owner back, and free the restaurant owner slash chef from the Naho monster, and basically save the city. And once again another tower gear appeared in front of them. In front of Black Kaido, the Ranger of the Tower Gear appeared after they destroyed the monster, and basically turned, after they destroyed the monster and freed the restaurant owner from that Naho monster that took control of him. Another Avataro Gear appeared at Black Kaido's, cafe shop. This one was the Orange Gear. Also, they did morphed up into they did use the other Avataro Sentai gears to transform into other Rangers. So basically, they used blue and yellow used the Listing Ranger gear to transform into Listing Blue and into Listing Yellow, while black and pink used the Wheel Cell gear to transform into Wheel Cell Black and Wheel Cell Pink. So basically, after this yeah, after all that, the restaurant, the White Star restaurant started to boom after that, after that incident. So everything was good and whatnot. So basically, Ichiyoshi was proud that that this restaurant was booming after that, and basically got the restaurant owner as a client for his, for his consult, for his consultant and whatnot. So basically Ethiopia was celebrating and whatnot, and then we cut to see, then we cut to see Donbrothers there, still at the river somewhere, at the riverbank somewhere, thinking about maybe he should, work on himself, not, still thinking about what those two guys said that maybe I should be work on myself, not being too helpful, letting people help themselves and letting people help themselves and whatnot. Thinking about improving himself. I do want to help people, but maybe I'm too helpful and whatnot. Thinking about improving himself, and basically, and him leaving the riverbank and didn't notice that he crossed the. And he didn't know he walked by the Black Ranger Isba, and basically this is how the episode ended with with Momotaro, the Red Ranger, walking past the Black Ranger. He at this riverbed, and basically them going their different ways and whatnot. And basically this is how the episode ended. With not knowing that not knowing these guys, or didn't realize that they walked past each other and walking past each other, not realizing who they really are, outside of their ranger forms. So anyway, this was a good episode. So basically, I feel like Momotaro might learn to might try to better himself. It's not being too helpful and letting people figure out how to help themselves and whatnot. So basically, he's still going to be helpful, but he's going to try to tone that down and letting people, hopefully letting people figure out how to do stuff without any help and whatnot. So basically, it seems like we do have some like a character development arc for the Red Ranger. So anyway, this was a good episode. So anyway. What do you guys think about this episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Or was it just okay? Please let me know. Anyway, sign off. 1.